this one. Tell us about yourself. Discuss the topics that you go over in your work and what mediums you use, why you choose to use those mediums, and what the message you want for people to take away is.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess.
Okay. And you're already rolling, right?
Yeah.
So am I supposed to look at the camera?
No.
Okay. I'm not going to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my name is Jessica Pisani Roberts, and I did my bachelor's here at UTEP in 2007, and then I graduated with an MFA in December of 2012 at NMSU. My emphasis was in sculpture, or is in sculpture, but with completing like your master's, it's a very interdisciplinary type of program. So I consider myself like a sculptor, video artist, video installation, performance art, so all kinds of different things, not just one thing. What other questions?
Why do you work with the video medium?
Okay, so the video medium started because I was making performative garments, and so the first garment that I made, which was the salt hood, Namasani, that one was the one where people started asking, why aren't you documenting this work? And then that became something that was a lingering question, like, why am I not documenting these things? I was really interested in motion and change. The objects I was making weren't representing what I actually wanted, the concept. And so the concept was so important that I felt that the work needed video in order for the concept to be pinned down. So I wanted to share that with people.
So you were building, or you were making the objects before you were, or as a performance thing, before you were documenting them on video?
Yes, I was making garments that were a metaphor for the things that I felt were important, but because I can't perform these things, I think a video is a great document to have to actually emphasize the importance of this piece. You know, it's when you go to grad school, a lot of people ask you, okay, so you're making performative garments, so what? And so there's a point where you have to choose what's important, and for me the concept was very important. So the garment is one piece of the puzzle, but the actual performance is it's a large piece of the puzzle, where it actually explains why I'm making these things. And I really wasn't thinking about video per se when I was actually making, the salt hood. The salt hood was this big metaphor for my life. So I think it just ended up developing naturally because I wanted to tell a story with the garments.
So at the time it was more about documentation of your work and less video art.
Definitely, 100%. And I think one of the things that happened was, which is one of the reasons why in like video class, I'm teaching a video class, and I try to elaborate on the many different ways to approach video art, because when people ask me, document your work, the question mark for me was how? How? Do I tell a story from the actual, like a live performance, or do I take control of the camera and then show different angles so I can give more interest to the piece? And will that add content to it and things like that? So it became a lot more complicated. And so then I started researching more of like the cinematography perspective and understanding that form is content within camera angles and all those things. And so then that language developed. But in the beginning, I was just hiring other people to document my work, and it didn't really have, a clear, solid concept with those takes.
Okay. What message do you want people to take with them when they view your videos?
I think so the issues that I think we didn't talk about that. Like the issues for me that I'm dealing with in my work is these ideas of like authenticity, culture, food politics, social norms, all these different things. And so in general, like what I want people to do when they look at the work is just to question their own lives, to question their own relevance. Like how authentic are we? Do we learn things from other people? Or is that really something that is real to us because we choose it? So is it nature or nurture? Like I want people to question who they are, because I'm constantly questioning who I am. And so you see the garment and then you see the video and you see sometimes like a very contrasting story. And I think people are more complicated than just one thing. So my purpose is so that I open up the questioning instead of trying to pin people down to one thing. So giving multiple meanings is really important. So I really want people just to question social norms, and that's in general. It's not just like feminine norms. It's also masculine norms, and it's just the humanity of how we create society.